Okay, so different material of review stuff. I just posted this stuff. I put it all in one document with links to everything. Okay, so I gotta explain a couple things first. I used to teach AP Stat in different ways. I've taught it on a block schedule before, which is part of what I'm using. And when we were on block schedule, every single test they took, when they turned in their test, they not only had to do, they had to do something that is kind of like corrections, but it had nothing to do, it wasn't a correction at all. I didn't need the right answer. So, if you missed something with labeling a histogram, they had to make me what I call an AP exam tip that told them how to do the graph of labeling a histogram. So they counted as a separate grade with their tests. But so for every test they did, they literally made this compiled list of these are the issues I had on this test so that I had to look over for the AP exam. So they had to write it I was very, very critical of what counted as correct. I wasn't concerned with telling me the answer to this problem. I'm concerned with 5 months from now, will this help you solve this problem? So one year I had a group of it was valedictorian, the salutatorian, it was all top 10 kids. I don't know how it happened. This is a compiled list of all of their AP exam tips for the whole year. And then not only that, but I went through them, and if there were duplicates, I reduced it to one and stuff. It is still a very long document, but think about what I'm saying this is. This is my top kids that I had that entire year and the issues that they had on the test. So that should be a very, very good document as far as things to use. It's 19 pages. I wouldn't print it out, but if you don't want to print it out, I would at least read through it. This was obviously very early in the year when they missed this. If it tapers off to the left, it's considered left skewed. Well, that might be something you're well, duh, and then you just keep going. But you're gonna catch some things you're oh, I totally would have missed that too. I forgot about that. How to calculate outliers and stuff like that. So I think this is definitely worth looking through. Maybe just kind of scanning to see, I'm good with this, not good with this. And if you're not good with it, it should already be the exact, this is how you do it, because that's why they're supposed to write it in the first place. Go to something more descriptive here. We just talked about this one the other day. When you're doing stratified, you break up the population into different groups of similar individuals and then take a random sample from each. So they just broke it down into things that are not specific to any type of problem just to help them out. So I definitely recommend looking through that document. This one is essentially the same thing. I might have even typed this one up. In our textbook, there's bullet points at the end of every section. And this might have even been when I did that with a different textbook and went through and typed them all up. But essentially, it's the book's version of bullet points for each. I know what it is. There's little blurbs off to the side in your textbook. These are just main points things. I think that's something that's pretty helpful too. Okay, so then when I taught in the block schedule, which is where we're gonna have to do it next year, there were some students that I didn't see after January, and then they took the exam in May. So what I did is broke it down into 4 different review sessions. These are the same 4 reviews same 4 sections that I said the front of your textbook splits in. It splits this is section 1, 2, 3, 4. I did it to be similar to that. And then with each section, I gave them a topics checklist. So these are your different topics out of section 1. So they were supposed to have gone through their notes, found these, and written something about each one. Some of them are just straight definitions, and some of them, usually when I do vocab, the part up here was pretty much straight vocab. The parts down here were things that you needed to explain, like types of bias, generalizability, that kind of thing. So for each of the 4 sections, I gave them a checklist, but then afterwards, I went in and typed up something for each one of them. So then there's also my document of me writing something out for everything in the checklist. And then I gave them practice questions, which was multiple choice and free response. Some of them are 1 or 2 free response, and there's usually about 5 multiple choice or so, which are things that I picked out as I think these are important topics of this section. And then attached is also an answer key. Now, the answer key sometimes is kind of picky, but it's an answer key for the different free response and an answer key for the multiple choice. So if you don't know where to start, between the things I put up here, you should have at least something to work with. There's this last one. Usually every year we give a test that we didn't do this year. And it's just filling out this chart. So like a 1 sample Z, what are your conditions? What's the confidence interval formula? What's the test statistic? And some of them have degrees of freedom and some don't. But we usually give this as a test. We just didn't have time for it this year. So if you're trying to study through these, this might be something to print out and like kind of fill in and make sure that you do know these, or to print out so you can go through it and like kind of practice with it. And then the only other thing I think I'm gonna add is I can't remember if it's College Board and AP Central are kind of connected now, and they do really good video reviews. Have y'all gone to any of the ones with the YouTube videos? There's a specific one that I want to link, and I don't want to just say go to it, so I want to wait until I get that one. But that's the only other thing I'm going to add right here is the links to the review videos. There's this one guy who does a bunch of them. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I think he did 8 50-minute or 40-minute videos for this year. Somebody in one of my other classes started reading through these, watching them. He actually told them last year on our exam that was only 2 free response questions what he thought was going to be on the exam, and he was pretty much spot on. So like he's not a grader, he doesn't have inside information, but he's done this enough to where he knows what to expect. So like just listening to him, the stuff that he's saying is like he really knows what he's doing and what he thinks is going to be on there. So we'll end up posting a link to those as well. And